Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Cage by the Page. I'm David, your host,
Oh,
and we got my co-host over here, John.
oh,
So we're doing a special episode, very impromptu, right, John?
it's a little impromptu, yeah.
Yeah. What was your idea for tonight's episode? We're gonna go back to the gameplay. Don't worry, those of you, one of you that watches, um, for Disco. We're definitely gonna finish Disco. I love Disco. I love the game. I love all of that. But yeah, John, I guess what did Goodreads like email you or something? Is that what happened?
Oh well, I got the my year in books, year in review in my email. Like I guess like probably 2 weeks ago now, and I had been thinking about like, he wants to do a video about books with me for
Yeah,
his channel.
yeah.
And this would be a good way. And I'm always shooting him down. I'm always saying, no, 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 no. I don't have an hour and a half worth of things to say about one specific book, you know?
That's fair.
So,
That's fair.
yeah, so I thought this might be a good idea to like take a little bit of the pressure off and everything. And also, I'm more of like a video games guy and stuff like that. But in secret, I have read 30 books this year.
Whoa, that is quite a feat because even though I run a book review channel, I've read like at max 10 books for the year.
Well, but think about how many books, the equivalent of how many books you've read playing Disco Elysium.
Yes, that is true. Disco by itself is definitely a novel. And I absolutely adore Disco. So yes, I agree. I agree. I have that does like kind of elevate me a little bit. But no, this is a great idea. I love it. I haven't been keeping up with my Goodreads though. Like it's not. I don't feel like it. I don't know. Sometimes I'm just lazy about. It. I'm a lazy bones. But you
Mhm.
have, and because of that you actually have a year in review page from Goodreads. So let me bring that up. Cool. We got my year in books. You've read 10,092 pages. Like that's quite.
In a manner of speaking, I mean, to be fair, I would not have read probably maybe two or three books, if not for audiobooks.
Okay.
And I just listen to audiobooks on my commute into work, which is sometimes up to an hour, hour and a half.
Okay.
And so almost all of these books, except obviously for the shortest and longest ones,
Yeah, I
and maybe
mean
a
these are
couple
manga.
episodes from that.
Also, what
Yeah.
the fuck, 0 pages?
I don't know. It's busted. I guess it just doesn't have a page count.
What the guy she was interested in wasn't a
Interested
guy at
in
all?
all. Yes, that's correct. It's
What the
like that one I really, really liked.
what the fuck is
Uh,
this?
well, all right, let's get started.
All
that
right.
was
Well, yeah. All
that was
right.
a manga that came up on my like. I was just like looking around on Amazon during work one day, and that one came up in my like recommended titles. So I gave it a look, and I thought the art style was just super rad, and I was just like, this book looks cool as hell, and I am just kind of a Yuri manga like sort of fanatic.
Okay. Yeah, I
I
saw.
just really love
Yeah,
it.
I was gonna say I saw the tags on the Goodreads LGBT, queer, lesbian, just like in my face, being like, hey, look at this. But look, it's got a 4.6. Okay, so basically, it seems like it's fashionable and upbeat high school. IF falls head over heels for an employee at the local CD shop. Oh my god, this is such a John coded,
Right?
yeah,
Isn't it?
manga.
Yeah, they mention like real life bands and stuff in the manga too, like American stuff and stuff that I'm like a lot of it is like fairly like mainstream, but still kind of like, grungy or like rock and rollish, like Nirvana or something like that. But it's like
Okay.
it's still nice to have like a real world kind of, aspect to it.
Oh, also, I see this is fairly new. Like they're saying it was published the 22nd of October.
Yeah, that makes sense. The next one, I have this spreadsheet of all the manga that I'm following because it's kind of hard to keep up sometimes,
Hmm.
to keep track of like what I'm into and what I liked about this book or that book. So I actually made an Excel spreadsheet, and for
Uh,
that one, I wrote like the release date of the next volume of this is like February X date or something like that. I'm gonna
okay.
pick it up like immediately, and I can't wait.
Okay, dope, dope. I love it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love the enthusiasm. So yeah. I don't know how many how many me and who's I got left in me, guys. I don't know. Do you understand that review?
I don't know what that means now.
Okay. Well, the second review is "Let's Go Lesbians." I think we can all understand "Let's Go Lesbians."
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. I mean, yeah, this is definitely a cool looking manga. Like the art style, like you're saying, it's pretty like I don't know, like a hip hoppy kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
the costume design in this book is stellar. It's
Dolphin.
just yeah, it's just a good book, and it's
There
cheap
we
too.
go.
Look, $7 on Kindle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Look at that. Nice. Ooh, she's a
yeah,
cutie. So, all right,
yeah,
cool. I mean, that's awesome. I'm gonna have to. Oh, it's got a 4.9 on Amazon. Damn. Okay.
yeah, nice.
I'm gonna have to look that up. I mean, get into it. So, your longest book though, 648 pages. Uzumaki. How do you how do you feel about Uzumaki? Oh,
Well,
oh, did you watch the anime they put out on Max?
mm, no, I didn't. I watched like 5 videos on YouTube talking about how terrible it was,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
and that's what got me to actually read the book finally because I've been meaning to read it for such a long time.
Okay,
And it's okay. I think I gave it like a low 4. It didn't. It's it's Junji Ito. Like the artwork's really cool, and like
right.
the art.
The
The ideas are
spiral,
cool and
right,
stuff, but like it's horror and stuff like that. But there's not a super. Maybe I just missed something, but it didn't feel like there was like a super amount of depth to it. You know what I mean?
okay, okay. Well, it was
Like
published.
what you don't know about this book is that it's like more like sort of like a collection of short stories that are all happening like in around the same
The
time, and that wasn't, I guess, quite what I was
look,
expecting.
look at that first review. Look at that. Well,
Yeah,
that's really
there's
spiraled out of control quickly.
yeah, there's a lot of those.
I'm traumatized, but in a good way, they say. All right, so Junji Ito for yeah, it's a horror. He's a prolific horror
Definitely prolific. Yeah,
mangaka. Yeah, and basically, there's I believe he's got a few adaptations anime wise if you wanted to watch, but none of them are really good.
none of
So
them are good, or so
yeah.
I've heard. Yeah,
So definitely stick with the novelization. Well, the novelization, the manga. Just stick with the manga. Uzumaki is probably his best known. I want to say, right? That's like the one.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Uzumaki, but it didn't seem to click with you, which is well, yeah, it's too bad. Um,
I mean, I didn't hate it or anything, and it's certainly not like I blew through it in like an evening. It's 600 or whatever pages, but it's a
yeah.
comic book. It's not like you're taking 5 minutes to read a single page or anything.
Yeah, and just like a really quick like overview of this, it's like the town kind of gets sucked into the spiral thing, like some sort of horror
They all
spiral.
become sort of like obsessed with spirals,
Uh-huh.
and they all start to like become spirals themselves, and
They
it's
become spirals. Guys, they become spirals. So, I mean, okay, cool, cool, cool. I mean, I'm down. I'm down with that. All right. So that was your longest. Average book length in 2024 was 373 pages, which is pretty average, pretty good, you know.
that's right.
You have Wool as what you're on your shelf, I guess. You haven't actually read this one. Is that the idea?
No, I did read it.
Oh, okay.
I read that this year.
Well,
It was fine.
what would you, yeah, so are you going to continue with the series? Is it fun enough for you?
I'm going to continue the series mostly because I've heard for the second book, it it's like a prequel, and it goes into like how the world like became how it was. And I'm
Yes,
really, really interested to hear about that and read
gotta
about
find
that.
out.
If it was just a continuation of this book, I'd be half and half about it. But it was good. I liked it enough.
Yeah, so just a real short overview of Wool, because I did read Wool a long time ago. But basically it's the far future. There's been some sort of apocalypse basically on the planet, and everybody that survived kind of was sheltered into silos. And it's basically mankind living in a silo, the repercussions of being trapped in a small space like that. And yeah, I mean, it's sprawling, I guess, but it's not like you can have a ton of people, so you have to pick and choose whether or not you can have a baby, kind of thing. There's overseers about that. And and there's all sorts of problems because it's been going on for quite a, like, at least a century, I think. So the silo is kind of like breaking apart, tearing itself down over
And
time.
it's been a long time, so there are children that are being born into it that don't know,
The
the
history.
world outside or anything like that. In
Yeah.
fact, like most people at that point don't.
Right. and
Yeah.
and obviously there's forbidden contraband and stuff of the old world. And the ruling class, well, it's really one guy, with all the secrets and stuff, wants to keep that tamped down.
Mhm. Right, right.
And then you get your main character and you follow her along. And I think Julie is a really good main character. I think she was a strong portrayal. I mean, I enjoyed her. I know that there's also a TV show on Apple called Silo. And the first season was good. It was really good, actually. They did change a lot of things, though, between the book and the show. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I recommend just taking in both. I haven't seen season two has come out. I haven't seen season two, so I can't really comment on it. But definitely read both. I think that was great. I will say I did not read the second book in the series, which I think is called. Let's see, is it in here? No, it's not in here.
Shift, I think.
Shift, and then it's Dust. I have both of them. I just haven't gotten around to it, but
Mhm.
yeah, no, I also heard very good things about Shift. And yeah. So that's cool. I mean, I do recommend Wool. I do recommend getting into Wool if you haven't already, because it is a cool sci-fi story that I enjoy a lot. And definitely
Yeah,
also
it's
check
pretty
out the
fun.
show. Yeah. Aside from, season 2, which I can't comment on. All right, so what about this one? 1986. What's up with this?
1986 was one of the earlier books that I read in the year. That's obviously not the version I read.
This is like German.
Yeah, it's a German original. It's originally a German book. I think like it was. I don't think it. I don't know. I think it might have been translated only into audiobook. Like I don't think there's an actual English print version of this.
Yeah, that's what it looks
But
like.
yeah, it's I don't know. This guy gets zapped back in time into 1986. I don't remember why or anything about it, but didn't leave much of an impression on me, I guess. But it's
Yeah.
also been quite a while since I read that. I think I read that in like March or something.
Oh, so there's two more books. It's a three-book series.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there is.
they're about 3.8s, like pretty average.
Yeah, pretty decent. But yeah, that was one of the books that uh, I signed up for audiobooks.com, and you can get two books a month for free
Okay.
on at least on the plan that I'm on. And then one of them you can choose whatever you want, and the other one is just like from a selection of books of like 20 to 30 books every month. And that was just one of the random ones that was like you can choose from a bunch, and that was one that I picked.
Okay.
So I didn't really have any big investment in it, I guess.
Okay, fair enough. So you did review a book. Your first one of the year was A Suspect by Robert Craze. So
Hmm.
let's check out your review. Well, hold on. Here we go.
That's
Oh,
the
that's
whole
it.
review.
That's the Jesus, man. Why did they even bother? For mystery novels, I'm docking a star every time it's the cops from now on.
Yeah,
So slight
slight. I would
spoiler.
say major. I would say major spoiler for the book. But if you've read
Oh shit.
really any
So
number of thrillers slash, police detective mysteries, you know that that's not much of a spoiler at all.
okay, fair, fair. It's usually the cops. It's usually
It's usually the fucking cops,
the people in power with
right? Or the people that they work under, or something like that. But yeah, usually the cops, which
complete complete
I'm fed up with.
yeah, complete abuse of power, disregard
Yeah.
for, yeah, that's how it goes. Okay, so do you want to give us like a quick like little overview of it, or do you want me to just kind of talk about it a little bit here?
It's a LAPD officer. Somebody dies or something. I don't really remember. There's a dog involved. The
Well,
dog's a big part of it.
it did get the Goodreads Choice Award in 2013 for mystery and thriller.
Oh.
Do you think it deserved it?
Uh,
Well,
I mean,
okay,
I don't know
okay.
what else came out that year,
Yeah,
but
exactly. I was gonna say, take yourself back to 2013, okay, and then give
11 years ago.
yeah, and then give me a good idea. Oh, here we go. Whoa, this guy wrote a novel compared to
Yeah.
you.
Well,
But he also gave it a 3, and this is like the most like highly rated review, I guess.
mm.
So, yeah, it doesn't. However, okay. However, this isn't the best Robert Craze I've ever read. Oh yeah. So have you read anything else by the author?
Yeah, he was actually like my first kind of mystery author. My dad was really into him, and I say was. My dad is really into him. My dad is alive.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Um,
Although there have been some close calls.
that's true. That's there have. But yeah, despite his best efforts, my father is still alive.
and he introduced you to the whole like pulpy copy like
Yeah,
fiction
yeah.
novels.
Yeah, when I was like, I want to say like 12 or 13 or something like that, my dad handed me the first Robert Grace book. And he was like, "You're ready for these," and I was like, "Okay." And there was like, violence and like really explicit sex scenes in like the early books, and I was just like, "Wow, cool." But yeah, Robert Craze, good stuff for the
Okay.
most part.
Okay.
Um,
Well, so what do you recommend from Robert rather than this book, I guess?
Pretty sure I really liked Demolition Angel,
Demolition Angel. Okay,
which
let's
was a one-off from him. Like most of his books are from a series, the Elvis Cole or Joe Pike series that you might have heard of.
Okay, so
That's the one that I
bomb
feel
squad
like I remember the best.
bomb squad
Yeah,
veteran
Bomb Squad.
for Demolition Angel.
Yeah.
Okay, when a bomb call takes the life of another colleague, Carol begins to investigate a series of explosions. It's like Speed.
Speed, the bus movie.
Yeah, the bus movie. The cop was a bad guy, and he planted bombs all over the city, and then one of them ended up on a commuter bus.
Oh, is that how it happened?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I don't
and
remember. That was a
Ke-
long time ago.
Keanu Reeves' character tries to hunt him down, and because Keanu foiled one of his bombings, sort of. I mean, he still kind of got away. So I mean, he decides to take it out on Keanu by luring him onto the bus. Not even luring him, basically telling him, "Hey, if you don't get on this bus, it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, well, you're a cop, right? You want to save people, right? Well, get on the fucking bus." That kind of thing. So, but yeah, kind of just this synopsis kind of gave me, "Oh, yeah, Keanu Speed." So, all right, cool. I mean, maybe this is something I should take a look at cuz year
Yeah, Demolition
2000.
Angel was a lot of fun. I really
Okay.
liked that book a lot.
Okay, sweet. Okay, I will. He's got 136 books out. Damn.
He's been around. He's been around. Yeah,
He has been
he's
around.
quite prolific. He's prolific like Junji Ito.
Junji Ito. All right, so these are your books of the year. Damn. All right, look at all
Hey,
these.
well, let's talk about something that you read this year.
Oh, you want me? Well, yeah, but we were going off of the going off your list here. You got a pretty big list. All right, fine. Some of the books that I've read, we've already done. Well, I've done reviews with Win or Tiff or um Kalina was on one of them. So one of the first ones was Court of Thorns and Roses. Basically, it's like high fantasy. This 19-year-old girl, yeah, and this is one of those books that's like very much new adult, I guess. Like very, it has a little bit of drama, a little bit of sex, a little bit of fantasy magic. That kind of TikTok craze with books and stuff. So, but I was recommended it, and it was a lot of fun. It's basically comes kind of with the Hunger Games kind of feel, I guess, for the writing. It's not like super high fantasy. You know what I'm saying? It's still like pretty
Hmm.
pretty much I don't know. Well, anyway, yeah, so basically it's this girl named Farah. She kills a wolf. The wolf turns out to be like one of the gods, the Fae, and she gets basically there's a pact that happens. The king of the kingdom of the Fae that wolf came from takes her back home. He kind of forces her to stay, and over the course of the book they kind of like learn more about one another, and she kind of starts falling in love with the guy, but there's a lot of like apprehension about that because the Fae are not very well looked upon in the world because they have absolute power. It's like the cop dynamic, um
Mhm.
but the big thing is he's a big old himbo, so obviously that helps his case. Unlike normal cops, that look like thumbs. I love the thumb analogy when it comes to cops because it's so true. It's so true.
Yeah.
um Yeah, and and the himbo's name is Tamlin. But then there's another tall, dark, and handsome Fae that kind of weasels his way in, and you learn that Tamlin is also kind of under control of another big monsterish Fae kingdom queen. Sort of like he kind of gets pushed into stuff, because you learn that all their powers have been diminished because of this lady, and yeah, the resolution obviously comes, it's kind of I don't know if it I don't know if I expected the outcome, but it feels like hindsight I'd be like, if you've read a lot of these kinds of books, you'd probably would expect
Hmm.
what happens. But this is a long series. I think she's got at least 5 books. Sarah J. Moss. Let me just double check. Actually, I should have just clicked this. Uh, Here we go. How many books now? Okay, so it's 4 books, but there's like a 3.5 book.
Hmm.
So I'm just gonna say 4 books. There's 4 books. Pretty highly rated though, like 4.5 stars across the board,
Yeah,
with
sure, sure.
like millions of reviews and ratings and stuff. So I mean, definitely a series that it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm gonna go back into it. I have not started Court of Mist and Fury. I was gonna read it and then I was gonna review Winona and stuff, but things kind of have gotten in the way. So I'll probably read it and give a review and give some thoughts, but definitely worth, if you're looking for a fantasy book with some romance and stuff, it's worth getting into. I feel like it's pretty contemporary, so it's you're not gonna get lost. Like if you're not feeling a Tolkien, this is not a Tolkien. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So.
Okay.
So another book that I reviewed for the channel was called "I Survived Capitalism," and all I got was this lousy T-shirt. Yeah, yeah, John. Do you like the title?
Yeah.
It's a good
Nice. Yeah,
title.
sure.
Okay,
Mm.
so yeah, basically, it's
That's a
by.
high rating.
Oh, it's a very good book. So it's by Madeline Pendleton. She basically grew up poor. Kind of a split household situation. Her mother was kind of, I don't know. She couldn't get her life together. Her father could not get his life together. So she kind of struck out on her own. She became a She got into debt early, as we all do. Well, as we all do. If you go to college, you definitely will get into piles and piles of
Yeah,
debt.
I think that's a fair assessment. Yeah.
Yeah, she was trying to become a fashion designer, designer clothes and stuff. And eventually she figured out that her college education was worthless. She kind of transferred the skills, though, of her passion into upcycling. So basically, she takes old clothes, she kind of updoes them, and then resells them, and she made a
Mhm.
huge business out of it. But the big thing about her business is that she does the profit share, where all the employees share in the profits of the business, rather than she makes the CEO salary and everybody else gets diddly squat, or like less than.
Mhm.
So that was a big thing. She had some huge like life revelations, like her boyfriend killing himself because he was a successful businessman for a while, but then things started falling apart for his own businesses, and he took a lot of the emotional trauma of the weight of becoming a failure onto himself, with his business, and he didn't reach out to anybody and decided to end his life. There's a part in that book about that, which is very impactful, and it's something you have to remember. Like, if you're if you're not treating the whole capitalism thing as what it is, which is a game made to control you, rather than it becoming your life, because a lot of people, their job becomes their life, but or the fact that they're making a lot of money signifies their value, and it's not true. Money is not actual value. A person is valuable. Money is just a point system. It's like literally a scoreboard. Who the fuck cares at the end of the day? I mean, I'm not gonna get into it, John. I know, I know you don't want me going ever thing, but you know what I'm saying. It's just anyway. It was a great book. It's a great book. It's broken down in chapters. She kind of gives you also at the end of each chapter kind of her own lessons of how to kind of handle your own money, because she basically made all the mistakes you've probably like everybody has made when it comes to money. Made the wrong choices in buying this, or taking on too much of that, and kind of always struggling paycheck to paycheck. So she kind of tries to give people a roadmap onto just I don't navigating, maybe cutting, giving people shortcuts if they're open to it and they listen and they want, budgeting advice that they haven't gotten, because school is not going to teach you any of it, honestly. So great book, highly recommend it. The next, yeah, and obviously we have reviews of all of these that I'm covering right here. Next one is The Priory of the Orange Tree. This also is LGBT queer, like your manga, except it does not take place at a CD store. Although could be a good idea for a future
Looks like
novel.
another fantasy.
It is another fantasy book. This one is very long, and 848 pages. Yeah,
Wow.
I know. Ooh, gulp. Okay. So, Winona, Tiffany, and I reviewed this one, and we all kind of came to the conclusion the only really strong aspect of this book was the love story between. There's several characters, like they all kind of get a lot of spotlight. You know what I mean? So I can't say that these two are the main characters, but they are the main characters. You know what I'm saying? So Eid and Sabran. Sabran is the queen of the kingdom. Eid is her um undercover kind of sorceress. Like, she obviously, Sabran does not know that Eid is a sorceress, for a while in the book, but you are already aware of it pretty early on in the book. Um, but there's reasons for that, and I mean, again, watch the review. We give a pretty in-depth round table about what we thought about the book. But the love story between these two characters was so good, so strong, very well written. the problem is that the other half of the book, so this book is kind of split between the continent of the West, which has the Western tropes of the Western dragons being big, scary, fiery, demonic, evil dragons that you have to kind of face off on and whatever. And then they have a whole other side of the book, which is like the Eastern dragons, and they have magical powers, and they want to help people, and there's dragon riders. You see what I'm saying? It's so like disjointed.
Mhm.
Just even on that alone, this should have been like two books. This should have been way more fleshed out in those two books, and given the room to work on the eastern side, because the eastern side is lacking the most. I think, I don't know, story, plot development, character, like it's so weak. But it's 800 fucking pages that you have to get through, and it's like it goes between the two kind of places because there's another character on the eastern half, Tane. The main character's name is Tane, and she becomes a dragon rider for the Eastern Dragons, and then but she gets that taken away from her because of reasons, and you think that's kind of cool. No, it's not.
It's not cool.
It's not
No.
cool. And not only that, but Tane's character also has a really annoying anti he's yeah, he's an antagonist. I would call him an antagonist, a really annoying antagonist. Um that's also supposed to be kind of like a he's not a hero. I can never call this asshole an anti-hero because he is not a hero in any fucking way, shape, or form. Okay, but like a very annoying antagonist that has a moment that I I wouldn't call heroic, but it is required. It's so hard to explain. But anyway,
Yeah.
it got a 4. The book got a 4.1, if that means anything. And it was an award winner, I guess, but we gave it a 3 out of the consensus, and only because of the western half with the western dragons. The If it was just that, I think this book would have been a 4.5 for us. But yeah, it didn't work out. So I read that. We also did a review on The Housemaid. This one from us got like a 2 star. Um,
Mm.
but basically it's just like a murder. Meh, no, there's no murder. No, that's not true. It's a mystery. It's a mystery. A
Mm.
thriller. Yeah, it's a thriller. I guess it's a thriller. Actually, let me just look at the thing. Yeah, thriller, mystery. There you go, Mr. Thriller, mystery thriller, suspense, psychological
Fiction.
thriller, fiction,
Audiobook. Don't forget audiobook.
audiobook. Yeah, all of those things. So basically, Nina, you follow around Nina. She becomes the housemaid. Okay, the titular housemaid for a wealthy family. The what? So there's the husband, the wife, and the daughter. Okay, the wife turns out to be crazy, but then there's a plot twist. And then the husband seems great, but then there's a plot twist. And then there's the daughter, which is kind of meaningless. She's just a little bratty bitch that has no effect on the story, but aside from the fact that people are supposed to love and care for her. You know what I'm saying? Um, oh, well, okay. There's like a big scene in the book that revolves around the daughter, that I guess you can kind of be like, okay, well, maybe that's why she is the way she is, but it, no. And so, again, Nina kind of walks into this trying to decipher what the fuck is happening, I guess. Um for the most part, it's all very like, okay, well, it's that weird situation because she's a live-in housemaid, and
Mhm.
I guess she's attractive. You know, so
Okay.
so, so it goes through those story beats, and then there's a plot twist, and then it goes on from there. I Yeah, it was just like, I don't think it really came together in the end.
Mhm.
I just don't. I mean, this could be a book that you might have picked up and read because you kind of have some of the, it wasn't the cop this time. I could tell you that.
Mhm.
Does that make you feel
Mhm.
better?
A little bit.
Well, I will say Frida McFadden is like she puts out a lot of books. Well, no, I shouldn't say that because the guy, the what was his name, Robert Callis. No, that guy has 1,000 books over this one, but she does have a lot of books. I mean, again, this is a pretty highly rated title for her too. But and there is a book too. The ending is kind of dumb. I don't know. I just didn't like it. In the end, I just didn't. I walked away not liking it. I also read another book that I did a really fast rapid fire review. That I didn't even bring up. What was it called? It was called Brain Damaged. Right? Yeah, Brain Damage. Brain Damage by Frida McFadden. So we were gonna do like a big old like Frida McFadden. What do we think about her? Because she's popular, but the consensus seemed, from what I remember of the review, she's not popular for any good reason. So at least not that I can tell. I don't know why people like her so much. I mean, I could read through some of the reviews and stuff to figure it out. But yeah, Brain Damage. Basically, this one really quickly. Charlie is a dermatologist. She meets this guy. And then soon after that, she gets married to this guy, who seems very aggressive. Just the way he kind of like pursues her. And then in the end, she ends up in the hospital with brain damage. Now I wonder how that happened.
It'll drop. Boom.
Now,
no credits.
So in the book, it goes back and forth between up to the point of her being put into the hospital and her recovery. So like it'll go back and forth between the two, like in the future, or in the present day, and then how did it, and back and forth until you reach climax. And I mean, again, I gave it a 2. It's all right. It's it's again a psychological thriller. It's what you expect. The ending is very quick. Also, I will say we did read another book by Frida the year before called The Locked Door, and if there's a cat in the book, it's most likely the cat will save the main character.
Okay.
Okay? Just like FYI, if there's a cat in a Frida book, the cat will save the main character. In like a key moment. So, yeah, I mean, with Charlie, I guess I didn't. I mean, the character's okay. The brain damage aspect is all right in terms of like her struggling to gain back some normalcy. And she kind of starts reconnecting with people, but it's like, it's sad, like a majority of the book of like the fact that she won't be able to do normal things again and stuff, and she was pretty decent dermatologist, I guess. But yeah, would I recommend it? I can't say I would, because it is literally what you think is gonna happen, or I would say the ending is a rush job, so I guess the ending, like, oh, it's happening now, kind of thing. Maybe that is kind of like, all right, whatever. But yeah. So going on from Brain Damage, there's actually 2 books that I did read that I have not done reviews on yet. I was hoping to do reviews on. Well, there's actually 3, but I'm gonna keep the other one a secret. Okay. So I'm gonna go really quick on this. I finished Knee Deep in Debt.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, so actually I started this book back last year, but I really didn't finish it until this year, so I'm just counting it. So basically, you are the Marine from the Doom series. Do you know the Doom series, John? The Doom video
I
game
may have
series.
heard about it. It's
yeah. Over like
it's very, very like under the radar. I know.
Oh, it's very indie, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, over like a billion players. No, I don't know. So I learned that there's a novelization, sort of. I mean, it isn't about Doom. I guess it is about Doom One, sort of. So they kind of do a weird thing where they introduce all these characters that never existed in the video game. Because honestly, in the video game, you're just running around corridors shooting demons. So there isn't much of a story to go. We're talking about the original video game, like the DOS, Windows
Yeah,
93,
yeah.
95. Okay. Um, or maybe you played it on like I don't know, the SNES or
Or a
something.
toaster, yeah,
Yeah,
or a
or a
toaster,
toaster.
or a refrigerator, or
Yeah.
any of the myriad things that run Doom.
Yeah, so yeah, you're Fly Taggart, U.S. Marine, so that's the Doom guy basically. And you get sent to prison. You were supposed to be sent to prison because you knocked out a sergeant because he was doing shady shit on the battlefield or whatever. And on your way there, Mars has gone silent or dead or whatever, and basically you land on Mars, and due to the fact that uh, you know basically a demon horde is attacking all of Mars or whatever, you get set free because you're a Marine and you know what you're doing with a gun. So they're like, oh, okay, here, help us out, kind of thing. He mostly the first half of the book, a lot of it is like, yeah, running through corridors and just kind of having that kind of like, you know uh explanation of, oh, he's shooting demons with a shotty and they're blowing into bits, and it's a lot of that. Like, a lot of it
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that, which is kind of crazy, right? Because but then you kind of get a little bit of his backstory of how he got trained as a Marine and stuff. And and then you learn that he's got his, like, um one of his other Marine friends, like, his kind of his girlfriend, but not really, uh she's on Mars, or one of the moons. I think they're actually on Phobos. I think that's where it is.
Mm.
There's Deimos and Phobos, and then there's Mars. And I believe they're on one of the moons to start with. And you go from one moon to the other moon. You gain all this, like, demon tech, that actually, like, teleports you, with portals and stuff. So very video game-esque. um yeah, it's a lot of, like, explanation of all the action that's happening,
Yeah, yeah.
so it's only 200 what is it, 250 pages. It really is not a long read. It's pretty quick. I just took forever because I had life shit in my way.
Right, sure.
And
Yeah.
so would I recommend it? Well, okay, it's part of a series, so this is, I believe there's two more books. There are four books. There are four books. Um, yeah, I mean, it's kind of dumb, you know. But some the action scenes are pretty cool. So, but they're pretty. It's pretty lowbrow, you know.
Mhm.
It's not. You're not like super invested, I guess. But at the same time, you kind. I feel like you're interested in why is hell on earth, like, what what
Right, right.
what what is the prevailing big bad that is actually controlling all these demons. Like, what's the bigger story, what's the end game here, kind of thing. Um and the action scenes kind of get you through it. I feel like the first half of the book there was a lot more meandering, a little bit, maybe, with some of the action scenes. And I guess it kind of picks up toward the later half when he picks up a couple of his crew. Um, it's pretty gory. Yeah, I mean, it's all right. I'll, maybe I'll do a more bigger, like, in-depth review or something of it later on. The other.
I mean, well, let me just say this: video game adaptations are weird, man. Because like, book game adaptations. Because I read a couple of years ago, or I tried to read an adaptation of Assassin's Creed 2,
Oh,
um,
well, let me
in
pull
book
it up.
form, and
Is it Brotherhood?
yeah, yes, I think it's Brotherhood.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks like the one. And Yeah, I was just I remember going through the first couple of chapters and just like, yep, this sure is the introduction to the video game. And he has a conversation. I swear to God, this happened. I might have dreamt it, but it was just such a long time ago. I'm pretty sure I remember this. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't even have dropped the book, but I dropped it because he has a conversation with one of the other characters, and they're talking about feathers. And he goes and
Feathers?
gets a feather. Feathers, which are in the game, a collectible in the
Oh,
game. It's a
yes.
side
Okay.
mission
Yeah, I remember
that you
that.
go around, and there's like 200 of these fucking things. You just find
It's
them
it's for your
in the
sister,
world.
right? It's for your sister?
Your sister or your brother or somebody, one of those. Yeah, I think, yeah, the sister or something, the sibling of some sort. But as soon as that happened, I was just like, is he also going to go around and like collect different pieces of armor and like,
Right. In the
I'm just
book?
like,
In the book?
I can't. No,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I'm not going to do this.
Well,
So,
and yeah, and that was the kind of the problem I had with Doom, right? He had to collect the key
right,
cards to get past the one stage. He,
exactly. Yes,
uh-huh.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I had that problem with there was a graphic novel adaptation of Metal Gear Solid that was um, drawn by like the artist to that game, like the
Let
I
me
forget his name, but he had those like watercolor like brushstroke art
Metal
of
Gear
that.
Solid.
The art was really incredible. I think that's the one. Yeah. But yeah, at a certain point early in the book, like, yeah, go get these 5 key cards, and I'm just like, nah,
Nah.
I'm out.
Well, I will say the Brotherhood novelization was like 525 pages. At least this one's like
Mhm.
323.
Yeah, but again, graphic novel, so
Oh
it'd be a little
yeah.
bit shorter.
Okay. Okay.
Um, but on the subject, sort of books that are like video games, one of the books that I read this year was the third book of. Yeah, scroll down a little bit. There it is, right in the middle. Savage Dominion. That was a 3 book series. That one's called Void God. And
Oh.
it's basically an isekai.
Okay.
Like, this guy dies in the real world and is sent to like this fantasy world, and there's like stat screens and leveling up and stuff like that. And it's just like kind of like Doom, I guess. It's just like just a dumbass like running around the world and like beating up monsters and shit kind of action book. It was
Okay.
really, really fun. The whole
Okay.
series was just really fun. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a 3 book series. Cool.
Mhm.
613. I mean, this is a pretty big, chunky boy.
Yeah, that first book was 18 hours long because I listened to the audiobook of all of these, and yeah, they're pretty lengthy.
Also, the guy, the author, 1987. I mean, he's my age.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. I mean, he's got a 3 book series, and he's just my age. Yo, wow. All right, this isn't a terrible book. That's a way to start a review. I mean,
Hard
okay,
to
wait a
read
minute. I
though.
mean, okay, to be fair, I kind of have done the same thing, like literally tonight. I've said, oh, well, this isn't the worst book in the world, but
Right,
you
right.
know, okay, cool. Isekai. So, but yeah, I mean, you kind of explained what an isekai is, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
Yeah, the
cool.
guy dies in the real world and is comes back to like a fantasy world or some other kind of world.
Yeah, but
Basically, like the transliteration being like another world or something like that. I think is what isekai means, right?
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, and he has all his memories and stuff of like the real world,
Mhm.
but yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, is there romance in this? Because a lot of the times isekai have some sort of romance happening.
Um. He. It's not a main focus of the book, but he does kind of get like sort of a girlfriend near the end of the first book.
Okay.
But it's not a main focus, which I really appreciate because I like a good, solid. Not everything has to have like a fucking love story attached to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair. I get you. So recommended. All right, cool. Any other books you want to chat about that are off of your list here? I see you have the Trump indictments.
Yeah, I didn't even rate that because it was just like it's literally just it's as nonfiction as you can get. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
literally just documents, you know what I mean?
Okay,
But
fair.
it was yeah, it's not a beach read by any means, but
No.
like it was very it was certainly it held my interest and stuff like that. Like it's very dry, but like you're reading it and you're just like, my God, this man is going to be president again. You know?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, he's like tweeting up storms right now. Like the unhinged stuff that he is saying, just like yeah.
I don't know. We don't need to get too far into politics or anything, but I do think every person that votes should read this book. You know?
My personal take on it is that do you truly want your kid to look up to that?
Yeah, yeah.
That's it. That's all I have to say. So, okay, passing along on that. What any other books off of your list that you wanna chat
Fight
about?
Magic Items. Fight Magic Items was
Okay.
awesome.
Okay, so
It's
what's
about
this?
it's very, it's a little bit niche, but it's just like about how how Japanese RPGs kind of came over to America
Oh,
and
cool. Yeah.
Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest and how those things started and how they blew up. And, obviously Final Fantasy VII was huge, and how that in some ways certain catalysts for how the genre blew up, like, and, became bigger in the
What
West.
um what was your first foray into JRPG?
Shining Force.
Shining
Shining
Force.
Force on the
Sega,
Sega
right?
Genesis. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep. Yeah,
What?
I loved the animations in that game.
Okay.
I was always big into
Hold
animations and
on.
stuff
Let's
like that. And
let's
when you
let,
like
let's bring up.
attack a guy and just the screen comes up and you got your guy in the front and the other guy in the back and they do a little motion or whatever.
Oh, this.
Yeah.
This kind of
Yes,
like.
exactly.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
Shining
Hold
Force
on.
was really cool.
Oh, well, will it give me a big screen? Nope, it won't. Damn it.
Maybe can you open a new tab or anything? Or no?
Well, let's just find another screenshot. Wow. Oh, you can play the game.
Hmm.
Start game. we're just we're just loading an emulator right here, right now. Sega, guys, this is turn. Can you hear the? Can you hear the music?
I can. I can hear the music. Yeah.
In ages long forgotten, light fought darkness for the control of the world. I love this. Oh my god.
It's so classic, you know.
It is. Damn. Oh, it's got
Yeah,
an
and there were
86%.
like, and it was like this kind of thing where you would like run around and explore the overworld and like recruit people to you, and there were like party members that you could just like totally miss, and there were like 30 of them or something like that, and there was like this wolf guy, and man, that game was so cool. And yeah, I must have been playing that when I was like 10 or 11 years old or something like that. But yeah, Shining Force was rad.
Whoa, I got an ad. I got hit with an ad.
Why are you getting ads?
Well, no,
I
it's
thought you
because
were on
no,
the
I am, but I'm on the Cage by the Page one, which isn't on the plan.
Ah, gotcha, gotcha,
Yeah, yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. But that's okay. It's not a big deal. Shining Force is
Yeah,
sweet.
Shining Force.
If we're gonna say JRPGs, then I think my first JRPG was oh man, I think it was Quest 64.
Oh, no kidding, really? I thought
Yeah,
that was terrible.
it was terrible. It was a terrible, horrible game. Like I couldn't figure out how where to go. It kept flipping me around. Like the camera
Oh
control,
man.
there was something wrong with camera controls in that game where when I was trying to go down a road, I would get locked into a battle and then I would be flipped around. I would head the other way back to the same fucking town And
Mm.
I was like, I kept repeating that, or I entered a place and I just got demolished like immediately. It was just like
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
was un. Let me just bring up a screenshot of Quest 64. I mean, unless Final Fantasy 7 might have been out before that. Wait,
It'd probably be pretty close.
wow, it's a 12-hour story. 12 hours.
Yeah, I think Final Fantasy VII was like 97. Is that possible?
Yes, it was 97. Um, because I didn't play any JRPGs. I had a Genesis and a SNES growing up. I didn't have any JRPGs. That's not where I started. And then I want to say Final Fantasy. Um, like I never did Final Fantasy 3, which was 6. I never did that one. I never did
Yeah.
Chrono Trigger until later in life, obviously. Um,
Right.
I I did um I did Final Fantasy 7 sort of because it was mainly through my friend. Like I would just come over his place and just watch him play, or like
Mm.
stuff like that. But then I got into JRPGs from that point on. Like Quest 64, I think was a rental. Fortunately, thank fucking God, because I would have been so mad for wasting my money on this thing. It was a
Mm.
terrible game. Yeah, but I mean, whatever. There was like no JRPGs on the 64 at the time. And honestly, it's yeah, unless you were yeah, I don't know. JRP the thing with JRPGs is that you don't really have anything of like a western type of component up until that point, I should say, that gave you the broad crazy storylines, the multiple characters, just the interesting kind of, I don't know, magic systems and stuff. Like whenever it
Mm.
came to like western titles, it was like very simplified, you know. When it came to some of the, I guess, RPGs of the time, like coming from the west, I mean, maybe Baldur's Gate, was like one of the first that was kind of more complex, you know starting out. But I don't know. I mean, I that was a PC title, and unless you were like already old enough to kind of understand PC gaming, you weren't going to get
Yeah.
into PC gaming as a kid. So consoles
Right.
were really the only way to experience that. um so yeah, and Western developers didn't really pay much attention to RPGs at that time.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
and so yeah, but honestly, hands down, the RPG for me that is like that I this is it. This defined me. Okay,
Mm.
is Lunar Silver Star Story, which is
Well, that's
getting
getting a remake soon.
that is getting a remake. I am so
Yep.
excited. I am so excited. Honestly, that company, Dream, oh shit, what is the company?
DreamWorks? No,
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 it's
that's
not
the movie
Dream. No, no,
thing.
no, no, no. Lunar, Lunar Silver Star Story. Ah, what are you called? God damn it. Dream Game Arts. No, where is it? Is it Game Arts? I guess it is Game Arts.
Working Designs you might be thinking of. I don't know why is that. I think it's Working Designs.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just blind. Well, it says developed by Game Arts, but that was all. This game was also on the Sega Saturn, before it came onto the PlayStation 1. The Sega Saturn one might have been Game Arts, and then the American company, I think, is the one I'm thinking of.
Mm.
That Working Designs. Yeah, Working Designs, which unfortunately are defunct since 2005. Oh, Gaijin Works was the successor. And are they still around? What have they made? Arc the Lad, the Arc the Lad
Mm.
series. I
Yeah.
have Lunar. I have Lunar 2 Eternal Blue, and I have the Arc the Lad series, all in their box sets. With like the Lunar one, I have the cloth map and everything. Like,
Oh, nice.
and back when I was much, when in my high school years or whatever, I would replay that game like every few months. Like I would get through
Mm.
the entire story, I would replay it again and again and again. The FMVs were great. the little pictures that you can find, the bromaids or whatever, throughout the land of the girls. That shit was awesome, man. That shit was awesome.
Yeah.
This was like
Oh,
one of
that
my
sounds sick.
this was like one of my defined, and the full motion video FMVs inside the game were so good. Like, with Final Fantasy VII, the problem was like you were getting all the CGI kind of looking. Like at the
Mhm.
time, it wasn't good looking. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like the actual game itself was. In fact, I kind of want another Final Fantasy VII. Like I think Fantasian, right? Fantasian, I think did something
Mhm.
similar. Um, in terms of that kind of like top-down isometric storybook kind of style. I know Final Fantasy VIII kind of kept up with that a little bit. I don't remember 9 was really more. No, I guess 9 was still like that. And then obviously,
Mhm.
10, 11, 12, whatever, it just went off in its own
And full
direction.
3D, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, but up until that point, it was that kind of like the kind of like locked in camera or whatever. Which
Right, right, right.
I kind of want them to do more of that. I kind of miss
Mhm.
that kind of stuff, in terms of JRPGs or RPGs in general. But anyway, this was amazing. Like the story was amazing. The characters, they drew you in. It had that classic kind of like those anime archetypes. Yes. Okay. Were they archetypes? But at the time, they weren't archetypes to me. They were
Mhm.
living, breathing heroes, man. They were
Yeah, I know you,
heroes,
man. Mhm. Yeah, of
So
course.
yeah, now that
Yeah.
you're older and like fucking all edgy and shit, yeah, sure. I've seen this shit a million times. But when you're a kid, it's different. It hits different. And
Right.
so yeah, so I recommend that. Lunar 2 is really great. It's just kind of like built upon the previous title. I think the music way better in Lunar 2.
Mhm.
That was another big thing, is that it came with a soundtrack. Like both of these games
Nice.
came with the soundtrack, and the soundtrack just fucking slapped hardcore. I know this is a book review channel, but I've also posted shit about me stargazing and making food, so I don't give a fuck. This could be about video games because this is the good shit. But yeah, I'm super excited for the remake. I am gonna buy
Yeah, we'll
that.
definitely have to check those out when it comes out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely check them out. I really can't talk more highly enough. There was one more. Oh, okay, there's two more. There's three more JRPGs that I want to just like throw out there. Um,
Mhm.
a lot of people prefer Chrono Trigger over Chrono Cross, but Chrono Cross. I'm sorry. Another World, that theme, Another World, like the overworld theme, so fucking good. It makes you astral project. Okay, that's how good it is. I'm not even fucking joking with you. And then and
Wow.
then what else? I kind of also like. Oh man, I'm getting really like excited here. So it's like with Chrono
Mhm.
Cross, right? It was like it's like you're switching between two like different worlds. I think the catalyst was that in one world your sister is alive, in the other world she is not. But in one world, your companion Kid, she's dead, and that's why your sister's alive, and it's kind of that trade-off between that. But you know, it was just such a sprawling epic story with like 120 collectible characters. And if you make certain choices, you wouldn't be able to unlock certain characters. So, can you imagine in a JRPG that's already like 40 plus hours long, you now have to kind of like redo all of your choices? Dude, I printed out the game facts
Yeah.
fucking walkthrough, okay? This thick. I went to a friend's
Mhm.
house. I begged his mother, because I didn't have a printer. I begged his mother, can I please print this shit out? I printed out over 100 pages of double-sided game facts walkthrough.
Mhm.
And you know what? You know what the funniest
Mhm.
part is?
What's that?
Half of the game, to experience half of this game, like literally a different ending. Okay,
Mhm.
I had to let my companion Kid die. I could never let her die. I could not. I refuse. So I played this fucking game multiple times, and I got to that point in the game, and I never could do it. I never could pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? Can you believe
I can
that?
believe it, man.
Yeah.
100%. Like I said, I'm a huge like Yuri fanboy. Like I have a Yuri like visual novel that I went through, and I was like, I'm really close to getting. I'm one achievement away, but for that you have to get the ending where you break up with your girlfriend. I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't
Can't
fucking
do
do
it.
it.
I can't. I don't know. There's like there's this is like a soul aspect of this choice. Like like I judge nobody else. I judge nobody else. You can do what you will, but when it comes to me, it literally feels like I would be spiritually crushed.
Mhm.
You know, if I made that decision. I don't
Yeah.
know. So Chrono Cross is one of them. I know Chrono Trigger has a ton of endings and characters that are great, and I have played through Chrono Trigger. It just does not hit the. You know, I needed to have grown up with Chrono Trigger, and I didn't at the time,
Mhm.
even though it
Yeah.
was available. You know, but I didn't even know about Chrono Trigger until the PlayStation 1 release with the anthology, the Final Fantasy anthology thing, which by the way I
Right.
have. I have that.
Nice.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
know. Yeah, I didn't so Chrono Cross was my thing. That was my jam. Also it was really cool how it tied it into Chrono Trigger a little bit. Like there's like little key bits and elements from Chrono Trigger
Mhm.
that kind of tie it together, but it's not the same world, you know?
Okay.
Or at least it didn't. I don't believe they are the same. I don't know. Somebody correct me if you get this far in the video. So there's that. Leave it in the comments below. So there's that. And then the next like JRPG that really struck that resonant chord is
Mhm.
Legend of Legaia. Have you ever played Legend of Legaia?
Haven't played it. No.
Have you heard about
That was
Legend of Legaia?
PlayStation. I've heard of it. Yeah, that
Yes.
was PS1, right?
Yes, PS1 had some of the honestly there's no better system for JRPGs, like in my
Mhm.
opinion.
Mhm.
I think PlayStation 2 never caught me the way PlayStation 1 caught me with JRPGs. Like and I don't even know if it was about the age. I just don't think I don't think they had the same power in their catalog like PlayStation 2 at the time. In my personal opinion, again, I feel like that PlayStation 1 generation, those JRPGs were a fucking god tier, and they've never caught that magic ever again. I don't know,
Mhm.
John. How do you feel
Yeah,
about that? That's a strong
I
statement.
feel you. No, no, no. I think you're right. I mean,
Okay,
I didn't play a lot of those myself, but like that's
okay.
what I've heard.
Here,
Yeah.
like original Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy
Right.
8. I still think I posit that it is still a fucking magnificent game only because the fan theory behind of what's his
Oh, Squall is dead.
Squall is dead. Squall is dead.
Right.
If that I don't care if the director himself came to me and said, no, that's not true. That is not where I was going with it. No, you shut your fucking mouth because Squall is dead and he died at that point where he got stabbed through the fucking heart. You cannot survive that. You can't just wake up
His
with
face like becomes a hole. Yeah.
dude, dude. If that is what that truly is, it's perfect. Perfect game.
I mean, yeah, like I didn't play the game myself, but I listened to a podcast where they did a playthrough of it, and it makes sense to me.
It
Yeah, it
makes
makes
sense to me.
perfect sense
Yeah,
to me.
exactly.
Yeah.
So Final Fantasy 9 top tier medieval Japanese fantasy. Like that I really resonated with that game as well. Um More so than 7. I would say those two games I resonated way more than 7. Um Also Legend of the Dragoon. Legend of the Dragoon. That battle system of where the little square comes into the center of the screen and you have to tap. It's like it's not like DDR, but it's like got that rhythm kind of behind it. So sure, if you don't tap it at the right time, you still have an attack. You still land an attack against the enemy or whatever. But if you want to actually use the moves, you have to time the attacks to get the strikes in. Okay? It's so good. It is so good. It is so fun. It's also just such a sprawling storyline with a ton of collectible character. Well, 8 characters, I think, is the total that you get. but like, and like party members, like specific party members drop off like your girlfriend and stuff because of reasons. Um it's just really good. And then you have the whole dragoon aspect of it where you transform the Power Ranger, power up kind of thing. It's pretty sweet. Oh yeah, also your friend. Yeah, your friend. I can't talk about that though. But your friend
Okay.
is so good, so good, so good. Now, I will say the localization for that game is bad. It's trash. There's something wrong with it. It's like they didn't have the dictionary for the Japanese dictionary to like translate these words, and they just kind of
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure. Oh, the minimal amount that there is horrible. It's horrific.
Yeah.
Oh, these are Americans. Oh, no, they're not. They can't be. They're alien. But also they had some crazy cutscenes that I think pushed the CG to the best it could possibly be at that time compared to fucking Final Fantasy VII, which was dog shit CG, in my opinion. So
Yeah, no, I kind of.
yeah, and then going back, Legend of Legaia, again, another really cool fighting mechanic system where you pick left punch, left kick, right kick, and
Hmm.
from those, from the combinations that you choose, okay, will create the specific like power moves that you collect through the story. Like, like if you want to do a thunder lightning strike, you have to do left left right left, kind of thing, and then he'll do the thunder lightning strike. But if you do left 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 left, then he won't. It will just be kicks, that kind of
Yeah.
thing,
Interesting.
which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
super interesting. Like those two games, Legend of Dragoon and Legend of Legaia, had such fucking fantastic gameplay mechanics, right? That
Mm.
you do not get from, I don't know. I don't remember the last time I could think. Like a lot of games have tilted toward. I mean, there's still plenty of games I guess that do turn based. It's just that
Right.
I don't feel it. I don't feel it. I feel like ever since Final Fantasy X, it's been the same fucking game.
Mm.
It's just I don't know. I mean, feel free to disagree in the comments below. And but it just doesn't catch me. Um, but yeah, I know for you, Grandia, right? Grandia was a big one.
I know I talk about Grandia 2 a lot. Yeah,
Yeah,
Grandia 2's battle system is just I love it. And I was gonna bring that up. The Dreamcast had some pretty good RPG bangers
Dr-
on there.
Dr-
Grandia 2,
Grandia 2.
Skies of Arcadia.
Skies of Arcadia. I forgot about Skies of Arcadia. I didn't pick it up on the Dreamcast though. That was a GameCube. It was a GameCube
Yeah,
title for me. But yeah.
yeah. Both for me.
Now, okay, so I will say, Skies of Arcadia, do not care for, at that point in time, did not care for the combat. Like,
I mean, yeah, the combat wasn't anything special, but like the
yeah,
exploration
the
was.
exploration, the ship battles were fun.
Yeah.
The fact that you could build up your ship and build up your crew and stuff, and then kind of
Mhm.
tear it up a little bit, and that kind of sky pirate aspect of it, which is so
Yeah,
fun. And
yeah.
I don't know, like, when's the last time you played a sky pirate?
Never. I mean, there's this one game that like just came out called like Sky Oceans
Oh,
or
okay.
something like that. Uh, and everybody was real super excited for it because they were thinking about Skies of Arcadia, but apparently it's not very good.
I was just
Yeah,
about to look it up. Sky Oceans. Sky Oceans.
that might
Uh,
not be what it was called.
Skies of Arcadia, though. Let me just bring this up because it's so good. God, look at that. Look at that sweet,
Yeah.
the crew, the fucking crew. And by the way, what I really love about Sega is that they'll put in their like characters in some of their other games, kind of like how Nintendo did with Smash Bros. So for example, with Vice, which is the leader of the pack here, he's in
There's some
Sonic.
racing transformed.
Yeah, he's in Sonic Racing Transformed, and he's in Valkyria Chronicles, along with his
Really?
with his like childhood friend Aiko or whatever.
I kind
Uh,
of think, yeah, that sounds right.
yeah. So just such a great game.
Friggin' Shenmue. I could spend all
Shenmue.
day like putting the coin into the gotcha machine and pulling out like another Sonic,
Yeah.
or all the little references that they had in there. Fighters Mega Mix. Did you ever play that shit?
Fighters Megamix?
Yeah, like on paper, it was a crossover between Fighting Vipers and Virtua Fighter,
Oh no, I've never heard of
but
this game.
there's characters from Sonic the Fighters in there. There's the A2 palm tree you can fight as. You can
Huh.
fight as the Daytona USA car.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's totally wild. It's out of control. The Virtua Cop characters are in there.
Dude, the
Um,
only original character in this game called Deku. Deku is a comical Mexican green bean in a hat.
he is.
Jesus.
He is that. Yeah.
Yeah, I never even heard of
Rent a
this game.
Hero. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That was for the Sega Saturn. So it's typical that you might not have heard of
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah. Sega Saturn kind of locked everybody away from buying it.
And it
It
just
was
came and went. Yeah.
yeah, well, it was like $600 before $600 was $600. It was like
Yeah.
$10,000.
Yeah. It
So
was a lot
yeah,
of money.
it was a lot of money at the time.
And they also like I can't speak for it has actually happened, but apparently they just shadow dropped the console.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They didn't really talk about it whatsoever. Well, I mean, Sega had a lot of those problems in that day. Like for example, the 32X. No.
Mhm.
Sega CD. No. I don't. Do you remember a fucking commercial? I certainly don't remember. I watched a lot of TV back in those days, bro. I do not remember a 32X commercial. I know that they exist. I don't remember a 32X commercial. I don't remember a Sega CD commercial, and I certainly do not fucking remember a Sega Saturn commercial. Because if I did, I probably would have bought the fucking console. You know, like 64. I remember. I remember a few
Yeah.
games. One of the games I remember was Mischief Makers for the 64. When they dropped that. So I don't know. I don't know. They just did not have good word of mouth. I did remember the Dreamcast, especially with the little crayon logo. That was cute.
Spiral thing, yeah.
Yeah, the
Speaking of spirals.
yeah. Oh yeah, spirals with the books.
Right, what were we doing again?
Oh, we were talking about books. Here we go. Fight magic items. The history of Final
That's
Fantasy.
how we got into
Yeah.
this.
Yes, yes.
That's right.
We went on a little tangent. I hope everybody.
Yeah, so you should check that book out. You would love it.
It's only 12 pages long.
It's definitely more than 12 pages. This is the audiobook version, so maybe it was like 12 chapters or something. I don't know.
Okay.
The pages are always weird on the audio.
Okay. Yeah, unput downable. I mean, that's the review. Okay, anything else off of your list that you you read a Dean Koontz.
Yeah, my first Dean Koontz. Yeah.
All right, what did you think?
Um, I liked it. Yeah, it was pretty good. It wasn't the cops.
Okay, that's good. He
Yeah.
kept it interesting.
Yeah. I liked it. I don't. Again, it was a couple of months ago that I read this, so I don't remember necessarily everything that happened. But the silent corner refers to somebody that's like off the grid, or like even farther off the grid than off the grid.
Right.
Just like not online or in any capacity like that. And that's what the main character is. And it was really interesting. Like it went places that I didn't expect it to go. And I don't know how old this book is, dude. Can you see?
It says it was published
Oh,
in 2017.
2017?
Yeah.
Okay. So like 5 or 6 years ago or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, it definitely went more into almost like a bordering on like science fiction kind of element to like the sort of villain of the story. And it was really, yeah, it was uh again, it helped me. Like, it
Yeah.
definitely, I was excited to see where it went and stuff like that. I like that book.
Yeah, I mean, I've read a few Dean Koontz novels. None in this past year. But The Corner of His Eye was one of them. That was really interesting. That was kind of like a Stephen Kingish, like there's a kid with like kind of superpower ability to see things, and basically one of the people that they're able to uh, one of the people in the book is a serial killer, and you kind of yeah, when by the end it's interesting. It's definitely an interesting book. You should check it out. I'm just going to recommend it. It's been a while since I read it, so I don't want to misspeak on what happens. But that was a great book, Corner of His Eye. Another one I read more recently was this parallel universe traveling story. um what, oh man, I can't remember what the title is though. Let me see
You
if,
you talked to me about it a couple of like a little while ago,
yeah,
but
yeah, 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 yeah. Maybe I can find it really quick in this list of. He's got so many books though. No, no. Although I will say, if you haven't read Odd Thomas, that's like the big one for Dean Koontz. Have you, or
okay.
have you checked out the movie?
No,
You,
movie of Thomas?
yeah, Odd
I don't
Thomas,
know.
the
I never
movie.
heard of it.
Well, I recommend it. Is this it? Katie lives, unfortunately. Nope, this isn't it. But that sounds interesting. The House at the End of the World. Um, damn, it's like 30 pages. I would have hoped that it would have just been toward the top of this list. Um, I do recommend Elsewhere. It's Elsewhere.
Okay.
Elsewhere. So it's basically a father and daughter duo. Um, and they it's almost kind of like a Rick and Morty thing. Where
Okay.
they'll portal themselves into different realities, but they're being hunted by the
Mm,
feds,
okay.
or whatever the feds, whatever you want to call them. And some of the realities are really wacky, like not wacky, but like one of them is like a post-apocalypse because of like machine insects that have taken over the world. That one was pretty creepy. What else? And one of the big things was that the husband or the father, um they lost his wife, like in some aspect. I think she ran away or whatever. So they find a way to find another version of her in a different reality, and actually a happy ending. So I think it's a great book. Just the story, like the fun ride that you go on. The bad guy is just such a piece of shit that there's no redemption. uh so definitely recommend it. But yeah, I did not read this year. I think, yeah, 2020 was a 2020 book. It was a 2020 book. So but Dean Koontz has a massive library. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Oh man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure, prolific.
Yeah. How many
Yeah,
how
he's
many
been
in
around.
how many in total? He has 871 distinct works.
Holy crap!
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's insanity. Dude's insane. Um
Is that well? So is that just Dean Koontz, or is that like a James Patterson situation? Or like he like
the like kind of has like other authors or something.
yeah, like that.
I think it's just him. I do know that he's got a couple of books. Translator, I mean, these are showing translations, so I don't know. It was saying it's distinct works though. 800 distinct
Mhm.
works. So I'm not sure if that's still like counting the translations of the different things.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, it's still going to be a lot of books, even if you count doubles and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
about
I
about the
want I
same
want
number.
I want to say he did a book with the guy that the guy who wrote Hellraiser, but I could be wrong. Like, I think it was called The Talisman or something, but I don't know. It's been a while. I have the actual hardcover somewhere. So okay, all right. Well, that's cool. So we got a Dean Koontz up in this bitch. Is there any other book off this list? What, Gaslight or Rulers, Invisible Rulers?
Invisible Rulers was kind of interesting. That's about like how sort of like influencers on social media and stuff like that, sort of like
They have destructive
speaking
power.
like this narrative, and that's how people like start believing things like fucking ivermectin and gas and masks being bad for you and stuff like that. And it's about how all that stuff kind of starts. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, the problem is that for the most part, it's whatever the mass start believing is true is true. Like that, you know,
You
whether
try if you make it trend, you make it true.
yeah, exactly.
Was the kind of the main through line of the book. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's just what it is, right? I mean, you can create a reality based on feelings alone. You know,
Mm,
like I feel like masking is not a good idea. So, if you get enough
right.
people feeling the same way as you, it kind of changes the social normalcy of it, right? And that becomes
Mm.
true. That becomes the truth. So yeah, that's a good recommendation, if you're looking for kind of a nonfiction book to dive into. um, okay. What about nuclear war?
I think I thought I dropped that book. I'm kind of surprised it's on the list. I thought I like let it go. It was just like a little bit too, I don't know.
Too real?
It was, yeah, I guess. Yeah, it was pretty real. But
Yeah.
that wouldn't be why I dropped it. I don't know. Maybe I didn't drop it because it's on my finished list and I rated it, obviously. But yeah, it's just about what could happen in like a nuclear war scenario.
Okay. Well, nuclear war, not really the title to.
Yeah, you might love it. You, John or Jane, or them or they watching out there in the real world might love it. But
Might love it. All right. Okay.
it's a little maybe over my
What
head.
what
I'll
what
say
what about Gaslight?
that
Gaslight kind of brought me.
Gaslight was good. Gaslight was about this woman who used to be in a cult, and one of her old friends from the last cult, from the cult, kind of came back and like tried to like re-indoctrinate her and like bring her back and stuff like that. And it goes into all the internal goings on of it. And yeah, it just made me think a lot about you know.
Okay.
But we don't have to get into that.
Okay. Okay. All right.
um, yeah, but I mean, yeah, that was a pretty good book. A nice little. I think I read like a bunch of nonfiction books around it, so it was nice to get back into the fiction space. But then things went dark. I think I rated that like a 5, not because it like did anything that really blew my mind or anything like that, but or maybe I didn't rate it at all. Oh, that's on your page,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
You're on my page.
Yeah, but it's about like a murder that takes place during the filming of like a reality show.
Okay.
Um, and I just like when I finished it, I just couldn't think of anything that any like loose ends or anything like that. It had a solid ending. It wasn't like, oh, this guy looks like he did it, but did he do it? I mean, maybe it
Okay.
wasn't him. Maybe, and then like, oh, this other guy's walking off into the distance and like smirking or something like that. No, there was like a very clear, this guy did it. He like confessed to it and everything. And uh, this was when I listen to an audiobook, I will usually, like I said, I listen to them on my commutes. And I'll usually like take a break for a commute or two and like listen to some tunes or something like that. And when I come back, I'll just be like, okay, right, yeah. And when it starts up again, I'm like, okay, that's right, that's what was happening, and I remember.
It
This
kind it
one,
kind of reminds me of a JRPG.
yeah, exactly. This one, like, I listened to it every commute for as long as I was listening to it. I always remembered on my way out to the car, I was just like, oh man, I wonder what's going to happen next. I
Oh.
remember exactly what was going on. Yeah, it was really engaging. I just and it just it, if I hadn't like listened to it so sporadically, like only during commutes, I would say it was unputdownable.
Okay. So what
Yeah.
what what uh what do you think was the hook that kept you like in terms of the writing? What do you think really brought, because I mean you obviously don't feel that way about every book you read.
Mhm. Yeah, I guess it was just despite the fact that we're like six characters, uh it was actually really remember easy to remember like who was who and stuff like
Mm,
that. And the narrator did good voices. Like she had a different voice for every character.
okay.
A distinct, you know,
Okay.
which is kind of I can't say yet that it's rare for an audiobook, but it I took notice of it, you
Is
know.
this
And
like like is this like your first year doing audiobooks as often, or have you been doing audiobooks for a while?
um I might have started like halfway through last year,
Okay.
maybe.
Okay,
Maybe
cool.
a little bit earlier than that. I don't know. But yeah,
Okay.
this
All right.
is quick.
All right.
But yeah,
It sounds
I
good.
really like I mean, as you can see, it's only a 3.28, but I guess just that's the important thing for me is that like how much a book, keeps me
Engaged.
interested and engaged. Exactly.
Well, yeah, you don't
Yeah.
want to be falling asleep behind the wheel during your commute.
No, certainly
Hour,
not.
hour and a half, hour and a half into your commute, and you're like, as you're driving.
No.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad. All right. Smash.
Smash was great because like yeah, it's about 90s punk and not like so many things you hear about punk are like in the 70s and stuff like that. And it was just like I wouldn't say necessarily that I like lived this because I was a little bit young for punk still at that point, but I remember I recognized that I knew like all the bands and
Hmm.
stuff that they talked about. Like Bad Religion is a pretty big focal point of this book, even though they're not in the title. And they're one of my favorite bands, and The Offspring. And it talks a lot about Green Day and what they were going through and stuff like that. And their story, it was super interesting, and how they made two albums, and the third one they just exploded, and how that all went, and stuff like that. And it was just that was easy to follow along with because like I have an investment in these bands.
Yeah.
You talk about like 70s punk and stuff like that. Like I've listened to and I have a bunch of their albums and I love the Clash and everything, but like I'm not as invested with them as I am in something like Bad Religion or The Offspring. You know what I mean?
I gotta say, I'm actually surprised that Green Day is that old.
Yeah, like mid to late 80s they were around, I
Yeah,
think.
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Like obviously for me, the big one was Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Hmm.
That's when I got into Green Day.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was like mid 2000s.
That's kind of on the late side. Like in the
Yeah.
90s they were yeah, like you know, like Welcome to Paradise and oh man, I can't even how are their big songs? I can't even think.
Okay,
Um
but I'm gonna throw this out there through to the audience. Boulevard of Broken Dreams. That's it, really. Period.
it's a good track, yeah, yeah.
It is a good track. Yeah, yeah, it's the one that did it for me. Is Green Day still producing?
I believe they're still around. Mhm.
Wow, that's nuts.
Yeah, yeah. That's pretty wild.
Okay.
Yeah. And so are the other ones, Bad Religion, The Offspring,
Yeah.
they're still making music. Um
Anything else you want
let me
to
s-
56 days or
The Stranger. Harlan Coben, like right at the top of the screen. Yeah, right there. Really pretty good, kind of a decent book, but there's I had to talk to my dad about this, but there's a good chunk of the book that actually takes place in North New Jersey.
no.
and they actually talk about my hometown. In the
No.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so this is
Quantic.
shocking secret of their marriage is built, leaving Adam wondering whether. Okay, so what is this, like a serial killer or?
No, it's like this guy. He knows like a secret about this dude's about the protag's wife, and he tells the guy, and or he blackmails her, maybe both.
Okay.
But and people, people get murdered and stuff like that, and it's okay. But the thing that really stuck out to me the most was like he was talking to his partner. He's like, "I'm on Route 287," and I'm just like, "Whoa!"
Wow,
And then
I've
he's
been
like,
down
"I'm on
that
Route."
road.
Yeah, and then he was like, "I'm on Route 23." I was just like, "Ah, he's
Oh
going
my
right through my
god.
town." And he was like,
Yeah.
"I'm in Pequannock," and I'm just like, "Oh my god!"
Ah. It
Yeah,
reminds
that.
me it reminds me of the Sopranos effect, you know?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Where it was like yeah, it was all in Jersey, so you obviously not only did you hear them talking about specific spots, but I've been there. I've literally
Yeah.
been to that pizza place or that fucking stripper joint.
I don't want to say for sure that they shot a scene at my high school, but
Oh,
I'm
no
pretty
shit.
sure they shot a scene at my high school. Yeah.
Oh, that's sick. All right, all right. Oh, and it was funny also that they okay, so in the first season of The Sopranos, they mention Maine because the girl, what's her name in the show? Like the Tony's daughter, she wants to go to yeah, she wants to go to Colby College, which is literally right here. So,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, but the thing is it's shot in like West bumfuck New Jersey, like
yeah, yeah.
off to the western half by Pennsylvania. I can't remember the name of the area, but it's west something, I don't know, or wood something, but
So you're saying that in a show, in the context of a show, there's a scene that takes place in Maine.
yeah, it's
Is what you're
in
saying?
Maine.
Okay, but it's actually being recorded in New Jersey.
In New Jersey though. Yeah, it was just funny. It was
Yeah.
just a funny thing because they specifically talk about it, and
Mm,
like and
mm.
like yeah, it was just like, oh, I'm kind of hoping to see, like, before I knew, like, I started watching The Sopranos after I moved to Maine. Okay, so before I knew that the scene was actually shot in New Jersey, I was trying to figure out where they were in the town,
Mm.
you know, but it obviously didn't pan out because they never were
Right.
here. They were just in
Yeah.
some weird part of Jersey that nobody ever goes to. Ringwood. Ringwood, New Jersey. That's it.
Right,
That's
yeah.
where they were. That's where they were.
Mm.
Um, I was gonna also mention this kind of reminds me of The Watcher.
Watcher. What is that?
So I think I want to say it takes place in New Jersey. Um, The Watcher, uh, Watcher, uh, New Jersey. Let me just type that. Yeah, the true haunting story of The Watcher.
What is this? I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, so they started getting creepy letters after they bought the house, and it was like,
Mm.
I don't know. It just struck me. I was like, oh, this kind of sounds like The Watcher. Maybe it doesn't, but it's a Jersey thing, so I was like, oh, okay. Um,
Is that just so? Is this just this article or this thing that happened, or is it like a book you're talking about
well, there's definitely a
or a
book.
movie?
Yeah, there's definitely a book around it. The Watcher letters. Let's see. Oh yeah, this one, Westfield. It's in Westfield, New Jersey. But that doesn't.
7 Boulevard. Okay.
Yeah, Westfield. I'm sure there's another one that's like way more read up. Is there a book about it? Let me see. The Watcher, Watcher letters book. 22. Okay. Is there a book? It's just articles. He introduces himself. He teases his identity. Young blood. maybe not. He was never found though. You
Well,
could you for all I know, you could be the Watcher, John.
could be me.
Um okay, well, man, we pretty much I think we've covered your entire list, right? Or unless you want to talk about MCU.
Not particularly, but that was kind of interesting behind the scenes thing, but we don't need to go into it. Zero Night was pretty basic. Yeah, we don't have to go through the whole thing. Golden State, Ben H. Winters, because I really liked his, The Last Detective, which I think I recommended to you like a while ago, a couple of times ago. I was up in Maine.
Yeah.
Um, but that's about like a situation where like lying is sort of like punishable by jail time or something like that. And he just has The Last Detective had such an incredible like setting. Instead of being post-apocalyptic, it was pre-apocalyptic.
Mm.
So like the apocalypse is like about to happen, and everybody knows about it, and how people are dealing with it
Wait,
is setting.
is it The Last Detective or The Last Policeman?
Policeman, is that not what I said?
I'm pretty sure you said The Last Detective.
Well, I meant Last Policeman. The Last Detective is a book by Robert Grace, interestingly
Oh, okay.
enough.
Maybe that's why.
The Last
Yeah.
Policeman. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm
But
pretty
yeah,
sure you
that
actually did mention this
I
one to me.
will 100% go to bat for that series any day. It's like these two, like this dude, the main character is like standing on the side of the street having like a normal conversation with like his partner or somebody like that, and yeah, and he just steps off the curb into the path of an oncoming truck, and the whole book is just goes up from there. Like
Wow.
it's yeah, it's so good.
So it's like sci-fi?
I wouldn't call it sci-fi. It's just more about it's apocalyptic, I guess. Well, I guess it does say science fiction.
It does say science fiction, and I also
Uh,
read there's an asteroid.
yeah, that's the asteroid that's coming to Earth. That's going to hit Earth. I guess that's science fictiony.
Yeah,
I
so
guess
maybe
a scientist is. I guess asteroids are science. Yes, I suppose that's true.
and there's fiction around this asteroid that's coming to Earth. Actually, there
Indeed.
is an asteroid coming to Earth. Did you know about that?
I didn't.
Apophis? You haven't heard about Apophis?
No.
Apophis asteroid. 2029, baby.
Oh, all
Let's
right. Well, we got time.
Well, yeah. So supposedly it'll pass only 20,000 miles from the Earth's surface.
So
But
it's not even going to hit us.
okay, 20,000. Do you understand 20,000 miles? How close that is?
You understand? Pass.
Okay, all right. So here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Speculation is that it'll hit us. So
I feel like if speculation was that it will hit us, that I would have heard about it.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, but that is what the speculation is. I mean, the 20,000 miles isn't exactly like 20,000 miles is nothing. Like compared to all the other asteroids that has passed through our solar system and missed us, this is like the one that could hit us if anything were to push it just a little bit.
And I don't know. I mean, I feel like going 800 miles up to Maine is long enough sometimes.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, man, this would kill us. This would kill us if it did hit
Okay.
us.
The whole planet?
Well, unless mole people. I mean, mole people would survive. or crocodiles. Crocodiles would probably survive. They survived the last one that hit the planet. I mean,
Crocodiles?
you didn't know that? They were alive during the time of the dinosaurs.
I mean, I know about birds.
Well, I would say birds have actually like changed. I mean, birds were dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
Sure.
crocodiles have not genetically altered their DNA compared to what they were back in the time of the dinosaurs. Like they are literally dinosaurs on Earth.
Neat.
Yeah, it is pretty neat. But that's
Yeah, I agree.
but the reason they survived is because they were just like in the water hiding out, or in like, tunnel systems or whatever under the water. Like they basically
Mm.
they weren't impacted by like the darkened skies and stuff, I guess. And yeah. Uh,
So spurred upon, so yeah, everybody just set your watches for 2029 April. Is it?
yes, so supposedly it's going to be what was it? April 13th, 2029.
April 13th. Okay, set your watches.
Man, the guy who has his birthday on the 14th. Loser. I'm gonna at least have my birthday.
Hmm.
And I have my birthday. I'm gonna be 1 year older.
Yeah, but not your next birthday though.
Yeah, I won't have the next one, but I had one more in close enough proximity.
Well,
To
so
enjoy it.
spurred on by the fact that you read uh, Mary Meet Cute.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
did a video
I
on that. So
I did.
I read my very first romance novel, or I'm in the middle of reading my first
No.
romance novel.
You
It's a girl romance novel, to be fair. Because
okay,
of,
all right. All right. Well, hold
but
on. Hold on. What's the name of the novel?
uh, it's actually it should be on my phone since I'm still the Christmas Swap.
Christ Swap.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's it's about so it's that old classic story about how a guy pretends to be dating a girl to like show off to his parents or whatever because they're worried about him and stuff like that, and like but instead of like they end up falling for each other, she ends up falling for the guy's sister.
Oh.
So yeah, that
Okay.
was another free book from audiobooks. That's why I
Ah,
gave it.
okay, okay, yeah. The rating's not that high. It is a $1.99 on Kindle if you want to just buy it.
Mm, yeah.
Okay, 352 pages. All right. I mean,
Yeah, I
see,
mean it's fine. It's okay so
oh,
far. It's not changing my life or anything, but I mean, it's just a romance book. So
interesting. But it's your first one.
yeah, that's my first one.
My other co-hosts have recommended to me Priest, that I should read Priest. If I want
What's
to.
that about?
Oh, it's
Sounds like a horror book. Is that a book? Is that a horror book?
no, no,
No.
no. It's as smutty as you can probably get in terms of,
Oh yeah.
yeah, but it's still a romance. It's a romance, but and obviously has sex scenes, but it's well written, I guess. Compared to
Hmm.
the Mary Meet Cute, which had sex scenes in it, but it was so disjointed between
Yeah.
the love story and the sex scenes, but also the characters themselves were not well written. Where you're like, oh, ew, why is he doing that? Like, why is she allowing that? Like, why are you in love?
Yeah.
Why is this happening? These books, they sometimes require, I don't know, a little bit of effort, for the romance to work, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
does Christmas Swap kind of tie into that?
It's kind of fun right now. They're like she's suspicious of him because like or of her, the sister rather is suspicious of the girl that's dating her brother.
Mm,
Uh, and so she's trying to like catch her out. She thinks she's a gold digger or
mm,
something like that. But like, she's trying to like lure her into situations where they can like talk to each other and like she'll, the sister will, like catch her in a lie or something like that. But, like they're just having conversations with each other and finding out that like, oh, you like this kind of music and I like this music too, and they're just vibing a lot. And
mm,
it's but also there's like the stupid fucking things that like like anime protag shit,
Oh
where
yeah.
like the girl is like very clearly talking to him and say, "Hey, I want to hear this about you," and then something completely unrelated happens. Then it's just like, ah, she didn't actually want to hear about that thing after all. Ah, I'm a
Well,
loser. I'm going to be alone for my whole life.
well,
Ah, she doesn't like me.
I was gonna say, this reminds me of that anime. That's basically a guy who bought a girlfriend to stand in for, for his family for like a thing, and then they, like it kind of, and then she uses him to stand in for hers, and it's like the back and forth and stuff. I can't remember the name of the anime, but it's the in the
It's not
last.
Rent a Girlfriend, is it?
It fucking is Rent a Girlfriend.
I watched that all season one.
Okay,
It wasn't great.
oh yeah, I don't know, like, yeah, it's, yeah. I mean, you need really charismatic characters, I think.
Yeah.
At least one of them has to be charismatic, and I feel like we so far, like, Mary Me Cute had no charisma. This one does not sound like it has a lot of charisma. So I don't know. Maybe Priest is the one. Maybe Priest has charisma.
Priest.
Yeah, Priest.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's
Well, you'll
got.
never know until you'll never know until you look it up on Goodreads and see what the ratings are like.
So, okay, Priest. I will tell you, it's got a 3.5. But I don't know. I was recommended. It's a very raunchy book, mature audiences only. Okay.
Yeah, boy, it looks like it from the
Oh,
cover.
audiobook, bro. You could you could be listening to hardcore sex while you drive
I
to
don't think I
work.
want to listen to that while I'm driving. No.
Okay, now to be fair, they do have another cover. They have like a more flowery, like, toned down.
I'm confused. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Is that a dude's back?
No,
Is that?
that's his chest. That's his chest, and that's a bi. That's a bicep right here. Okay, and that's his forearm.
Oh, okay. I see it. I see it. Like now, like I was looking at it, like the bicep kind of looks from where I'm sitting like a neck. Like
Mm.
I don't know. It looks. It
Well,
just looks like
He's
somebody
praying. He's praying.
totally eating out somebody's ass.
Well,
But
I mean, there is, okay. So another one that I was recommended. Ice Barbarians. Yeah, Ice Planet Barbarians.
that sounds
Now,
incredible, actually.
now, if you really want to see someone eat somebody's ass, here, take a look at this poster. Are you seeing what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it.
So, I want to say, because I had to do some Christmas shopping, for family and stuff up here. So I want to say I saw this. I really want to say I saw this title in the bargain
Yeah.
bin at Books a Million.
Sounds right.
So like, if you want to check that out and get the hardcover, it is $3.99 right now, or you could read it for free for Kindle Unlimited.
There you go.
This is book 1 of a 21 book series. Dude,
Oh,
look at this. Look at this. Oh my god. Oh. Okay, I just want to read the first sentence here. It's hard being the most popular girl on the ice planet. What about this one? When I wake up on the ice planet, I'm scared of everything. This place is cold, silent, and the locals look like blue devils than aliens. Let's see. I've never spent a day without my mate since arriving on the ice planet.
Are these all different characters? These must
I
be
guess,
different
yeah.
characters.
You'd think a tall woman would fit on a planet of 7-foot tall aliens, but even on the ice planet, I'm still a weirdo and an oddity. Oh my god, this keeps going, bro. Oh, is this a
Sure
dude?
does.
Oh no, it's a woman. My tribesmates don't understand her. The other humans think she's weak, but no one knows my mate like I do. I can't.
Oh my god.
Yo, this was pretty highly rated. Oh, this one's even more. Meanwhile, Marlene's not like the other humans. They weep while she smiles. They look at us with fear while she entices me with a come hither look. God,
Wow.
this
So
is.
are these written by in the barbarian's point of view?
I guess like it switches between the humans and the barbarians.
Yeah,
This is intense.
it's very intense.
I got you down this rabbit hole, bro.
Mhm.
You should really start the ice barbarians. I can't wait to get the review.
Yeah.
So I have this and actually an actual, well, no, I mean, this was a book recommendation. I wasn't going to say that, but young bright young women. That's it. So I was recommended this book that I'm gonna, try to read and review and see how it goes. It's a thriller fiction, historical mystery thriller. Might be something you'd be interested in. I don't know. Serial killer, basically in the 78. How do you feel about that? Serial killer.
Great. Jessica Knoll? I feel like I went to high school with her.
No, you didn't. You didn't go with Jessica Knoll.
Probably. No, that's definitely not her. Okay.
Okay, yeah,
That's
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't,
yeah.
probably don't even have the name right.
There's
No.
more than one person named Jessica Knoll out there in the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was recommended this book. Let's see, is there
Did somebody review this on your channel? Isn't there a
so
review of
so
this book
yeah,
already?
so yeah, Winona kind of did like a really quick overview. Like she did a 12-minute video
Hmm.
on this book.
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
even 12. I'm not like I think it wasn't the only book. But it was she said it was like one of her books of the year. So I was like,
Hmm.
maybe I should check it out, you know? So, yeah, I mean, we went over a lot tonight. We covered a lot of ground. We talked about some JRPGs. That was good.
Check out that book, man. You'll love it. Fight
Yeah.
magic items. You'll love it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I'm totally down to check that one out.
Mm.
But you listen to the audiobook, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recommend the audiobook?
There are obviously figures in that book that are like screenshots from video games, and they're just in the book. Apparently, I guess they're just like slapped like right in the middle of a sentence.
Okay.
So, and the narrator reads it that way. Like they'll just stop. Jesus fucking Christ. um, they'll just stop after a sentence and say Shining Wisdom 1998 Sega Saturn, and then just go on with the rest of the book. And like that's a title of a game. That's a game that they're not even talking about until like 3 pages later. It's really
Oh,
bizarre. But
okay.
yeah, but aside from that weirdness, it's really good.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll check it out. And so everybody else, this is your chance to check it out as well, and kind of leave a comment below on what you think.
Yeah, if you
Uh,
saw anything you liked, check it out and let us know what you thought of it. And
yeah,
if you think you might pick it up, and let us know how you feel about it.
yeah, exactly. Hopefully we'll put out a couple more episodes soon of the Let's Play of Disco, and me and you need to do another recording. um
Sure, we'll do that soon.
hey, don't make it sound like that's like a joke or something, because it's not.
No. It's not. I'm glad you're liking it. Yeah,
Yeah, I love
I'm
it.
glad you're into it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good game.
yeah, I'm sad about the studio not existing
Mhm.
anymore. And maybe, but supposedly now there's like 5 different offshoots of the studio who are going to make more disco games. I don't know how that's going to work out, but I'm
Oh, we'll
excited to
see.
see. All right, well, it's been fun, John. Say bye-bye to the folks at home.
Bye, folks at home. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Bye.